No, Senator Slotkin. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman. I apologize for being late. I just got off a plane. We've had some weather issues and some follow-up weather issues. I apologize. Congratulations. Happy to see you here. You're almost done. I'm between you and being done, so I'm aware of that. I just wanted to make sure we all are on the same page. The Goldwater-Nichols Act of 1986 is what established in law that the chairman is the principal military advisor to the president, also to the Secretary of Defense, the National Security Council. It mandates that you provide strategic direction to the armed forces, oversee strategic planning, program recommendations, budget proposals. It gives you a very big purview. I think the President Trump even issued a memorandum on Inauguration Day that the chairman be a part of the National Security Council meetings at the highest level in the White House. So that's an extremely important role, especially now. I've heard that other members talked about the fact that there was no Joint Chief representative in this signal chain about military operations, imminent military operations. And I want you in those rooms giving your best military advice to anyone. I was keenly aware that all the decision makers on that chain were all political appointees. There was not a single person there that was there just as a representative, as a military officer. There was no COCOM commander. There was nothing, and that I don't think missed anybody's notice. Will you, if confirmed, make a point to get into the rooms where military operations are being discussed, planned at the strategic level, and when advice to the president is being given about the confidence in those military plans, will you push to be in that room?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. We want you there. I've asked a number of folks who have come up here very similar questions, and former people who have sat in that chair about the importance that I put in swearing an oath to the Constitution of the United States, not to any one president, not to any political leader. You will swear an oath. You've done it many times before. This is not uncommon for you and your extensive experience. And I have asked all of these appointees or these nominees to say, if the president asked you to do something that was unconstitutional, to use the military in a way that was unconstitutional, to put military into the streets of our cities or policing and performing law enforcement roles which they are not trained for, et cetera, et cetera. If he asks you to do that, will you push back and lay down the law on behalf of the Constitution, not for the president's whims?
I will, Senator. I don't expect that to happen, but of course I would.
Well, we don't expect it to happen, but it did happen. Under the Trump administration the first time, Secretary Esper was asked to bring in the 82nd Airborne active duty military troops to put down a peaceful protest in Washington, D.C. And in his own book, he wrote that he convinced President Trump in the dark of night not to do that. I don't need it to be public. I don't need you to have a public fight with President Trump. I'm not asking that. I'm asking, in the same exact situation, would you act honorably in the same way and protect the rules and of the road for the U.S. military, to protect the institution you've given your life for, and make sure that this country doesn't see their uniformed military as a political arm of any one party? Will you stand up and push back similarly to Secretary Esper?
Senator, I think that's the duty and job that I have, yes.
Well, I appreciate that. I think there's lots of other important work. We all want you to be focused on the warfighter. Can you confirm for me, though, because these reports that keep coming out of Department of Defense and uniformed military press outlets taking down Jackie Robinson's page on and his service to the country, the Tuskegee Airmen, which have such a connection to Detroit, Michigan, they're taken down, they're putting back up. Can you confirm that war heroes, no matter what their color, should be recognized by the Department of Defense, and it's not some damn DEI thing to recognize warriors of color?
Ma'am, I think we should always recognize warriors, period.
Okay, well, I hope you uphold that as this ridiculousness continues of taking people and erasing them from our military history. It's really, to me, offensive. But we look forward to you standing up for those good values. Thank you for your work, and I yield back.